Thank you very much. Good morning. I prepared only 10 slides. I am Hirofumi Kusunoki from the National Institute of Biomedical Innovation in Japan. Please call our institute NIBIO. Today I will introduce you about the grant frameworks in Japan for promotion of developing orphan drugs in Japan. Here is today's content of my presentation. First, I will introduce the NIBIO. Next, I will show you the process of the orphan designation incentives in Japan simply. In my presentation, I will introduce you only grant. Other parts, please refer individual presentations. Then, main content, the grant frameworks in Japan. After that, I will introduce you the development status of orphan drugs in Japan. Finally, the conclusion remarks. Here's the mission of NIBIO. Our mission are three matters: create, connect, promote. We create knowledge and technique. We connect academies and industries, Japan and all over the world. We promote studies for various patients with rare disease. For realize this mission, we do two works. One is in-house study, of course. The other is provides research funding for outside researchers, including the developing orphan drug. I am in charge of the grant for orphan drugs at NIBIO. Here I show you the figure of the process of the orphan designation incentives in Japan. This system was started in 1993. Here's your company. Here's NIBIO. Here's MHLW. The first step of getting the grant in Japan to apply the orphan designation to MHLW. After obtaining the orphan designation, you can get the grant from NIBIO. Finally, NIBIO strongly hopes that you get the approval of manufacture and sale of your orphan drugs in Japan. From here, I will explain the grant in Japan in detail. For getting the grant in Japan, at first, you have to get the orphan designation from the Japanese Minister of MHLW. You have already heard how to get the orphan drug designation in Japan at the first session. After you get the orphan drug designation, you can get the grant from the NIBIO. The maximum grant amount is half of actual costs. The cost includes the payroll cost. NIBIO will give you the grant every 1 year. The maximum period of the grant availability is 3 fiscal years. And please attention. After you obtain the approval of manufacturing and sales in Japan, the corporation receiving the grant funds may be asked to donate to NIBIO. The donation is 1% of the sales amount of the orphan drugs for 10 years normally. If you give up to development on the way, generally you don't have to be back the grant that you have already received. This slide shows the notice when you get the grant. After you receive the orphan drug designation from the Minister of MHLW, you have to apply the grant to NIBIO. The grant not given you automatically just for getting the orphan drug designation. If you don't need the grant, you don't have to apply to NIBIO. Thus, to get the orphan drug designation means just to get the right for getting the grant. To get the grant is the right, not to duty. So if you need a grant, do not forget to contact NIBIO. This slide shows the attention for the foreign companies. The foreign companies which is no address in Japan cannot apply the grant in Japan, even if you receive the orphan drug designation from MHLW. To solve this problem, usually there are three ways. One is set up your office in Japan. The other is designate the deputy of your company in Japan. This way is common. Another option is a little difficult to find your partner in Japan. So please note, if your company has no office in Japan, at first you should consider that you prepare the base in Japan. After that, you can apply to the grant to NIBIO from your Japanese base. NIBIO accepts the application only in Japanese. Here is the development status of orphan drugs in Japan. This slide shows the number from 1993, the year beginning the orphan incentive system, to the end of 2013. Total number of designated orphan drugs is 327. Number of the orphan drugs that received the grant is 164. Almost half of the designated orphan drugs. Another half were developed by all companies' expenses. Next is the number of the orphan drugs that get the approval of manufacturing and sales after receiving the grant, 95. So NIBIO contributed to provide 95 orphan drugs to the patients in Japan. Another 69 drugs are now developing or gave up. You can see the status of all designated orphan drugs in Japan for visiting this URL. Concluding remarks. For getting the grant in Japan, at first you have to receive the orphan drug designation from the Japanese Minister of MHLW. Then you have to apply the getting the grant to NIBIO. At this time, there must be your office or the deputy of you in Japan. Finally, you can get the grant. The Mexican grant amount is half of actual cost. The cost includes the payroll cost. NIBIO strongly hopes that you provide your orphan drugs to the patients. If you need more information, please contact these URLs. A telephone, TV conference system, and web conference system are available. Anyway, please contact us. Email is in these URLs. Thank you.